Good afternoon, boys and girls. It's Deputy Moore with the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office with this year's summer safety lessons. The first thing that I want to do is to review with you what to do when you're home alone. Because some of you stay home alone, you're getting older, and as your parents go to work, it's easier for you to stay home. You can read your books and hang out with your friends through your little games and all that stuff that you are playing with right now. But we got to remember how to be safe. So the first thing that you do is remember, don't ever tell anybody that you're home alone. Make sure the trusted adult has the friends that you're allowed to talk to, and you've talked about it, and they're okay with who you're talking to. Remember, online, you may think that somebody's a friend, but there's really no such thing as an online friend. You either personally know someone from going to school, or they're a family member, or they're a stranger, no different than any other stranger. And if a stranger was to walk up to your door and knock on it, you know not to answer the door to let him in, because that would be a very dangerous situation. So it's exactly the same when you're online and you're socializing. You either personally know someone or they're a stranger. So if you have people that you've been communicating with, playing games with, maybe online games, and you don't personally know them, you need to delete them right away and let the adult know that you live with, that you've been talking to someone, because we want to make sure that you're safe. Now, if anybody's ever asked you where you live or any information, and maybe you made a mistake and you gave them that information, make sure you tell your adult right away. That way they can find out exactly what was happening, and if the Sheriff's Department needs to be notified to keep you safe, they can call us, because remember, our job is to make sure you're safe all the time. So that has to do with communicating with people online or through your video games. The next one is what to do actually when you're at home. There are certain circumstances to where maybe there's a dangerous situation, and it's always great to review your safety plan, because the best way to be safe is to have a plan and be prepared. Remember, you never answer the phone or the door when there's not another adult around. If somebody knocks on the door and they keep knocking on the door, make sure you ask your parents what numbers you can call if there's someone around, a neighbor or somebody who you can call if there's another situation. But you can always call the Sheriff's Department for a dangerous situation. That's an okay time to call 911. So if somebody's knocking on the door and they're trying to get in the house alone, call 911. What you're going to do is you'll stay on the phone with the 911 operator, and she'll let you know when it's safe to come to the house, because she's going to call a police officer to go to your house and make sure everything is safe. So when you call 911, remember to stay on the phone. If for some reason the person ended up getting into your house, make sure you hide. If you cannot talk because somebody might hear you, tell the operator you can't talk, but remain on the line. That way the operator can hear everything that's going on in the house, and that operator can also tell you when the police arrive and when it's safe to come out. Make sure you go over with the adult that you live with what that plan looks like when you're hiding. Make sure you have a plan for every room. Don't wait until it's too late. So go through and have a plan with your family. If there's an emergency and you need to hide in the house, where would you hide in every room? The same would be the same situation would be if there's a fire or an emergency where you have to leave the house. Make sure you talk to the adult that you live with. Where would I go? Is there a neighbor that you would go to, a safe adult? But you need to get out of the house, and as soon as it's safe to do so, call 911. So there's times that we want you to call 911. Somebody's trying to get in the house. If somebody's banging on the door and you're scared and you think somebody's trying to get in the house, you will never get in trouble to call 911. Times that it may not be such a good idea to call 911, or when maybe you just need to talk to your guardian when they get home, is maybe if somebody fell and they got a little bit of a scratch that would require a Band-Aid, then that's probably not a time when you would call 911. If maybe your cat gets lost or your dog gets lost, not a good time to call 911. But you can call the Sheriff's Department non-emergency dispatch to let them know, and they can call animal control. So we'll make sure that you have the non-emergency number, where if you need help but it's not an emergency, and 911. We'll also add at the end of the video some links to go over when is an appropriate time to call 911 and when are times that maybe you just want to talk to your guardian. The most important thing about that, though, is to make sure that you know your address. So that way when you call the 911 operator, they can send the police to your house right away. If you aren't sure about your address, or you think you might forget it in an emergency when you get scared, a good thing to do is write it on a little piece of paper, and you can keep your address and phone number, maybe your parents' information, in every room. So if you need it and you have to grab it, you can grab it really easy and take it with you, and there's never no question. We want to get to you as soon as possible to make sure you're safe, and so have all that information, and that helps us get you in a faster location. So those are some things to think about when you're home alone. The other one is maybe you're at a park, you're getting older, and you start to go to the park with your friends, or maybe you go with your parents, and it's, what do we do? So we have to go back over the stranger danger, what to do when we're around other adults. Remember, the perfect situation is that we want to remember this little space around us, kind of like a helicopter. If you go all the way around, that is our safety bubble. And so we want to keep strangers out of our safety bubble. If the strangers can't reach you, then nobody can grab you. So that's the perfect situation. But if you forget, remember there's always ways that you can keep yourself safe. If you did let a stranger into your safety bubble and maybe they grabbed your hand, remember you yell as loud as you can, "Help, I need help," and you tell people exactly what you need help with. If somebody's trying to grab you, you yell, "Help, he's trying to grab me," or "Help, she's trying to grab me," or "Help, this isn't my mom." And you keep yelling at the top of your voice as loud as you can, because most people are good people and they're going to come and help you. The problem is we don't know if somebody's good or bad by the way that they look, dress, or act. So that's why we don't trust anybody who our trusted adult has not told us is a safe person. Remember, no adult should ever ask a child for help. So they shouldn't ask you for directions. They shouldn't come and ask you to help them find their missing puppy or dog, or maybe a missing child. If an adult needs help, they need to ask another adult. They should never ask a child. If an adult ever offers you a gift, maybe it's ice cream, maybe it's money, maybe it's a new Xbox game, we don't ever accept things from people who our trusted adult has not told us it's safe. Because when we go to reach out to grab that, then we put ourselves in a situation to where that person can grab you. And that's a very dangerous situation. If somebody ever offers you gifts, money, asks you to pet their puppy, or is hanging around there, you need to run away as soon as you can, and you tell the trusted adult. If you're there at the park by yourself and somebody is trying to follow you, that is a good time to call 911. You're going to call 911 and you'll keep on the phone and you run to the closest, safest place. So make sure you go through those places. If you are starting to go to the parks and stuff, ask the person who you live with, where would I go if there's an emergency, and come up with different places along the way home that would be a good place for you to go. The other most important thing is that when you are going somewhere, make sure you know exactly how you're going to get there. Don't take shortcuts through people's houses or back roads. Even though it may be quicker, that's not the safest place. Because if your parents call and something maybe happens and you need assistance and they call the sheriff's department, maybe you get lost, they're going to have the sheriff's department go and look for you in the route that your parents or that you have agreed to walk through. So if you're in a different area, then it's just a delay with us trying to find you. And we don't want that delay. We want to find you as soon as possible, because it can be very, very scary when we're lost. Now, there's some other places where you might go that you get lost, and we want to make sure you know what to do for those. So say you're at Walmart or any big store, maybe you're at the mall, maybe you're at the fairgrounds, the baseball games, maybe you're at an amusement park, somewhere like that where there's a lot of people and you get lost, because it's really easy to do. There are very specific places and things that I want you to do to make sure you're safe. One, if you're lost in a grocery store like Publix, Walmart, a Target, any retail store like that that has a cash register, that's the person, or a cashier, the person who collects the money when your parents go to pay for the item. You're going to run right to that person and tell them you're lost. They have speakers that go through the whole ceiling of the house, and they're going to call your parents to come to that register. I don't want you to go looking for your parents inside the store. I don't ever want you to leave the store looking for them out in the parking lot, because that's very dangerous. Don't go in the bathrooms. If you get separated from your parent, go straight to the cashier and tell them you're lost. They will keep you safe, and they'll bring your parents to you. Now, if you're somewhere like Disneyland or the fairgrounds or the baseball game or any of those big places, you're going to go to the very first place that's called a concession stand. That's the place that sells food, hot dogs, drinks. You go straight there, and you even get to cut in line. You go straight up there and you tell them, I'm lost. They have police officers and security officers at all of those big places, and they're going to have that person come to you, and they're going to call your parent, and that way you can get back to your parent or whatever adult you went there with as soon as possible. Make sure that you have your parent's name or whatever adult you're with, their first name, last name, and their phone number. Sometimes you might go with a friend's family and you may not know their name, so that can be very difficult to find the person who you're with. So you can just put it in your pocket on a little bit of card with the adult's first name and last name and their phone number. So if you are lost, we know who to call for help, and that'll save things. So those are some great ways to make sure that you're safe when you're out in the community, when you're out in public places. Just make sure that you're always aware of what's going on around you. If there's a car following you and they're trying to talk to you, you're going to run away, and you're going to run as fast as you can, and you're going to yell for help. Remember, most people are good people, and they'll come and help you. If the car keeps following you and maybe you're going this way and the car's going that way, then turn around and run the opposite direction, because it's going to take a while for that car to turn around and keep back to you, and the whole time you're yelling for help. One of the best ways, though, that can help make everyone safe is if you're with a friend. It is always safer to be in a group than if you're alone. If you have to go to the restroom at a park or in, a shopping center or somewhere like that, always go with your friend. Don't ever go to those places by yourself, because then you're back behind a closed door, and that could be a pretty scary place. And if you need to yell help, there might not be somebody right there. So always go with your friend. That's going to wrap up today's safety video, and all of the information will be put at the end of the slide. Parents, you can link to it. There's some stranger danger videos that will be attached free to you to watch with your kids for the age 4 and up. John Walsh's stranger danger and internet safety videos are great resources. There's also a NetSmart program that's geared for 4 and up that talks about how to keep my body safe and how to make good, healthy choices, as well as internet safety that your child can use at home. And they're really cool, fun games. So thank you for your time, and you have a great day.